Ladies and gentlemen, many of these colleges and universities are throwing students out for partying and not wearing masks, not social distancing, and breaking whatever rules they have set up. They are sending these students packing and they are sending them home. And the stories are coming out every day. So this is NBC News, September 6, 2020. More than 20 NYU students suspended for breaking coronavirus rules, school says. And we know this school is considered one of those prestigious schools in the country. And obviously, they are not going to tolerate that. More than 20 New York University students have been suspended for breaking the school's new coronavirus policies as colleges grapple with how to keep young adults from spreading COVID-19. NYU said Saturday on Twitter that more than 20 students had been suspended. The school, which did not provide details about the suspension, tweeted the update after less than a week of in-person instruction. Please do not be the next. Avoid parties and bars, the school said. Wear a mask, keep your distance. Hundreds of young people partied Saturday night in Washington Square Park near the school's campus in Manhattan. Many of them not wearing masks, NBC New York reported. Students at the prestigious private university were required to test for COVID-19 before they moved into dorms, where they were told to quarantine for 14 days before the start of in-person courses. All right, let me see if I can play this audio. Hopefully it'll play. Okay. We got it.
After starting the school year with high hopes, the persistent threat of a highly infectious virus shattering many college plans. SUNY Oneonta in New York calling it quits for on-campus classes, sending all of its students home for the rest of the semester after more than 500 cases of COVID. The chancellor saying in a statement the college needs to take action to contain the virus and prevent further community spread. Temple University coming to a similar conclusion after hundreds of infections there.
Really hoped that this would be able to work, but the data just was too obvious for us.
Turning a recent 2-week pause period into a near total jump into online learning.
It was kind of a general consensus between my family and I that, I'm going home.
But the wisdom of sending students home questioned by some prominent public health officials.
We are not recommending that they send an infected college student home, because what you're then doing is you're getting an infected person and putting them back in the community to spread infections.
At the University of Miami, President Dr. Julio Frank told us 2 weeks ago the school favored keeping kids within sight on campus.
We can supervise, control, educate much better the behavior of young people when they're actually spending a big part of the day with us.
Students we spoke with applauded the efforts. What are they doing at the University of Miami to make you feel comfortable?
So we have a daily symptom checker, and you have to report how you're feeling, or if you've been in close contact with anybody that you've known that has COVID.
The University of South Carolina has touted its testing.
So this is my quarantine space.
But now has more than 1,000 students who've contracted the virus. Senior Mason Howard is one of them.
Does it feel manageable to you? Or does this feel like something that's growing out of control?
To me, right now, it feels like it's growing out of control, just with the curve is exactly what an exponential growth curve looks like. They're unable to limit students to just staying on campus.
Howard, who's currently in isolation on campus, says quarantine spaces are filling up fast. And the University of South Carolina says its priority is the health and safety of students, faculty, and staff. They had to temporarily stop their saliva testing because a key staffer got sick. And guys, it's important to note, even at universities where there is massive amounts of testing, like the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, they had to institute undergraduate lockdowns after outbreaks there as well. Chanel, back.
Such a challenge. All right, Sam, thank you.
Yeah, it is a challenge. And this just go to show you all of these school reopenings are not going so well. Now, they want these kids to stay in school, they want the colleges to stay open, but they have no way of controlling the spread between the students and the staff and teachers. And that's been a big problem from day one. So now they're saying, and you heard what they said, they want students that have coronavirus symptoms to stay at the dorm and not go home, because if they go home, that contributes to community spread. But we know those students aren't going to listen to it. The ones that are not feeling any symptoms are going to just pack up and leave. They don't care anything about being in quarantine for 14 days. So back to NYU. NYU coronavirus response had already made headlines for students' social media posts about subpar meals provided during the quarantine period. Other US colleges and universities have also struggled to adapt to the new realities of in person learning during the pandemic. Northeast University in Boston said Friday it had dismissed 11 students who were in violation of university and public health protocols that prohibit crowded gatherings. The first year students among 800 in a study abroad program who are staying in two-person rooms in the Westin Hotel dismissed students that were, they were told to vacate the hotel, and their tuition was not refundable. Wow. Y'all better make sure you're not doing all of that partying. I mean, these universities are dead serious about catching these students partying and throwing them out. Okay, social distancing is a good practice that everyone should follow, but it's patently ridiculous to plan a pandemic strategy around college students, some of whom have been adults for the matter of weeks, following mask mandates, social distancing rules, and event gathering bans 24/7. A Twitter user wrote, and it really doesn't matter how many of these bans for people gathering they put in place. You see, they're doing it anyway. They don't even care. They're doing it anyway. Coronavirus outbreaks, as you heard on the video, have been reported at several universities across the country, and this is only going to get worse. Reopening, to me, I still say, is not a good idea when you got 1,000 people on a campus that are sick. Not a good idea. And as you can see, even at the public school level, many of these schools have to consider closing because it is spreading. I mean, let's face it, many of these buildings, the ventilation is poor. So there's no way of keeping that virus out of there at all. And even after a person with it leaves, it's still lingering around. So I don't see how you can keep any student safe within the confinements of a school. I just don't see how it's going to happen. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.